I started recording the session. Thanks everyone for joining this session. So this is about Oracle Integration Cloud and Fusion training. What I'm going to do first, let me quickly talk about that here. So here I am going to first talk about some introduction about what is integration means in general. We will also get some idea about the building blocks for the integration, that is web services. Like we're going to understand maybe very high level what is a web service. I'm going to talk more like a layman terms, what is a web service means and how that is going to help in the integrations. After that, I'm going to talk in detail about the course structure, how we are going to learn this integration in cloud and Fusion technical, how the course is organized into multiple parts and what we are going to learn each part. So the order of learning and also the resources what you're going to get for learning. So that's what about I'm going to talk about. So overview of the training. And after that, if I get chance, I'll also show maybe one demo. Like demo means if I'll be opening an existing integration which we created as part of the previous batches, maybe I will try to execute that and see just to showcase the power of integration cloud, what we can do, etc. Okay. If anybody has any more expectations other than these points, just let me know right away now. So I'm going to include that.
Hi, Amit here.
Yeah, Hamid.
Yeah, so do you provide the detail for all kind of certification in OIC?
Yes, we can talk about that a little bit, not the details, but yes, I will tell you. Yes, let me also
Yeah,
introduce
like
that.
just what
Okay,
are the
certification.
certifications are present? Yeah.
Yes, okay,
And
right.
regarding instance access, Bhaskar, when do we get all the details?
I'll while I'm talking the overview of the training, I'll provide the instance details also.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So so what we can do is, if you're not really interested for the demo and all, if you want to just get the information, you can even like drop after these 3 points are done. If you want to see the demo, you can wait like that. Let's plan probably that way. Yeah, it's already like almost 10 minutes. Yeah. So let's go ahead. Coming to the integrations. So why the integration is becoming so important in the industry, specifically in Oracle Fusion applications in that industry. Many people are talking about learning this Oracle Integration Cloud. The people who are coming from Oracle applications and e-business suite, specifically for the technical side. And if you are trying to position yourself as a Fusion technical consultant, so it is expected to have certain expertise in the integration cloud. So that's what is expectation in the industry nowadays. So why that is becoming important and what are the integrations? First, let's understand that. So coming to the integrations, it's not like you are just doing integrations only. I mean, you're going to only after this training. I'm sure you would have done several kind of integrations already in your work so far. You might be working in Oracle applications, e-business suite, or even some other technologies if you're coming from Oracle SOA or Java background, etc. Also, you've done some integrations, knowingly or unknowingly. That is something very, very common. The integrations means what we do. We're talking about the two different software applications, application 1 and application 2. They both want to exchange some data, and you need to build some solution for that one. Like when application 1 would like to get something from application 2, application 2 has to provide some interface which is accessible from the other application. And then you are going to write something like some solution using some technology where you are going to like run that probably part of application 1 and then call whatever is available in the application 2 so that you can get the data from application 2. or the other way also. You want to also push some data to application 2. So you want to have some inbound and outbound data exchange with application 2 from application 1. So that means you want to develop some integration solution for that one, right? If you are doing within the application, what do? You are developing already some reusable functionality, like using functions or procedures, something like that, so that the modules within the application, they can easily reuse the existing business logic. But when that business logic or the function is outside your application, that application, you may not be easily able to invoke that one. Why that is not easily available? Because there are two different applications. The first thing is those applications might be using different technologies, and they may be running on different hosts. So that's why it may not be possible to access whatever is available in the application 2 and from application 1. When you were working in the database technologies, probably this was easier, because application 1 is nothing but you're talking about a database 1 and you're talking about database 2. There is always a possibility of creating database links in the Oracle database, and then you will be able to exchange the data between two different databases. But that is not possible when you are talking about more business applications, which is sort of like enterprise web applications. So enterprise web applications, you will not be able to easily exchange the data between two different applications. So when I say enterprise web applications, the typical architecture would be you're having a browser, which is your web UI, and then you have the database, which is the backend. In between, you're also having something called a web server or application server. So what we do here, in order to present certain UI, certain data in the UI, you want to provide some user interface using like a web UI. Maybe it's a report, or you are having some form where you can create some new records, or you want to update some records, existing records, etc. So you want to provide some user interface. So ultimately, you want to interact with the database. Database is having certain tables and data, etc. But you want to be directly updating and accessing from the web UI. So in between, usually there will be something called application server, web server. And in the web server layer, you are going to write some business components. And those business components will be acting as a middleman between your web UI and your backend database. That is the typical orchestration of web applications. So what we are introducing here, the complexity is introducing something called business components here. The business components are developed using some technologies. It could be like Java technology, Java J2E, it could be .NET, it could be PHP, something like that one. And you are developing business component, nothing but say set of programs. You're writing some business logic using that. So which understands whenever a request coming from the browser to the server, how to process that request. It has the enough knowledge. So it is a kind of independent component which can communicate with the database and also probably form an SQL query on the fly and run that SQL query in the database, update your database, or maybe getting some data, fetching the data. And then you're going to convert the data into HTML, and which will be presented to the web UI on the browser. That's the architecture generally it will be followed. And between these two, there is a protocol called HTTP protocol, which is used for the application communication, application protocol. Well, let's not get into too much of that one, because that's a different line altogether, which is a web development and web applications, etc. But now what we're introducing is we're introducing some business logic here. So you may be developing, 1 second. I need to, just a moment. Okay. So you may be introducing some business logic here in the application server layer. Now this functionality, let's say one application which is following this architecture, one more application which is also following this architecture. Now there is a Java program which is running in the application 1 in the application server layer. And there are also another Java program or .NET program which is running in the application server layer of your application too. Now, this Java application would like to communicate with the functionality or access the functionality which is available in the application too, which is using a different technology altogether. Now, how are you going to communicate that? How are you going to access that functionality? You cannot simply access that functionality because there are two different technologies, there are two different applications. Maybe there are different application servers altogether, different hosts. So you need to have some channel for accessing some functionality which is running in the other application. So for that one, you already have a solution for that. So what is the solution for that one? The solution for that one is web service. That's why the web service is such an important building block when you're talking integrations, specifically in this kind of architectures. The integrations within the database is not too difficult to achieve. You are still going to write the integrations using PLSQL only over there. You need not really learn any different technologies for that one. But when your application is like enterprise business application and you're having lots of logic which is implemented in the application server layer and you don't want to expose a database to other database servers, etc., then you need to go through using web service. The web service concept is not new in the industry. This is available in the industry for almost 20 years, the web service concept. Just before that, we had the concept of web application development. And what we did, we actually leveraged that web application or the web development architecture to introduce the web services. So what is that magic? What that web service is going to provide us, which is going to enable us to communicate between two different applications, which may be running on different hosts, which may be using different technologies. The answer is very simple. What happens here when you are having a web application also, how come the browser is able to communicate with a functionality which is running on some X server, which is remotely available for us? This is nothing new, right? Even if you are using a Gmail, the Gmail server is actually running somewhere else, right? You are able to access that one. Your browser is your own laptop or something, you're able to communicate with something which is running on somewhere else. That is because the functionality is available as a URL. The URL is the key part here, the web URL, right? So once you have the URL, you will be able to access that URL from any browser, from any host, as long as you have the access to that URL. That means the host where that URL is actually running. So that is already a solution available for us in the web architecture. When you are able to provide your functionality as a URL, then you will be able to access that from the browser, irrespective of what technologies you are using in the browser and in the server side. The web service actually leverages this concept. The web service also, what we're trying to do, we are trying to expose our functionality, what we develop the business components as a URL. And then some other client will be able to access that functionality. In case of web applications, the client is always browser. In case of web services, the client would be a different application. That application will be writing the required logic to access the URL, send a request and get the response. So behind the scene, that is what the web service is going to do. Since it is also exposing the functionality as a URL, then it is going to make many things independent of these things. Like the web service, what it is doing, basically we are exposing the functionality as a URL. That doesn't mean you are going to develop everything in the web service. The web service is only you can treat like another layer. The functionality you're already writing in some specific technology. Like for example, I want to get customer details. The getting customer details functionality is available maybe in .NET or maybe in Java, maybe in database also directly, whatever it may be. They're creating another layer by which you are exposing that functionality as a URL. And then you can treat in a layman term that is a web service. That means you can use URL to access a specific functionality. That because of that one, it makes independent of your technologies and also your host, like location, I would say, right? And basically languages, technologies, whatever you call it. So technologies and languages you mention here. So that is the simple understanding of web service. We'll go into detail technically what is SOAP web service and REST web service, etc. Maybe when you're actually going to learn the course, no? As part of that one, you're going to have lots of details about that one. But for now, let us just understand that it is a URL, and that is the reason we'll be able to access from any application as long as the other application knows how to communicate with the URL. That's all. When you take any technology like Java, .NET or PHP or database, there are APIs available always to access the URL, send the request and get the response. And actually as a developer, the normal developers, we don't really write the code that kind of low level. We already will be working at much higher level where everything is transparent for you. You are not going to write code like where I'm going to write a code to access the URL. But you are going to say, I want to access the web service. Behind the scene, the web service will be understanding and will be having enough information to make a call to that URL, send the request and get the response. That's how it works. Okay. So with that little bit of knowledge about web services, let us understand little bit more about what integrations we may be doing in the Fusion applications, something like that one. Or let's talk about a little bit introduction about the cloud and Fusion applications, etc. So when it comes to Fusion applications on the cloud, and there is something called the cloud solutions for everything. We have Oracle Integration Cloud for integrations, and then we have the VBCS. This is for integrations. And this is for our application development. We have a PCS, which is used for workflows and approvals. We'll just park this one. We'll come back this one. I'm saying these are the technologies we may need to work with if you want to work in the Fusion applications technical consultant. In addition to that one, you also need to understand about certain kind of reporting in the Fusion applications, which includes your OTBI and BI report, etc. You should be understanding about data loading concepts. If it is ERP, it will be FBDI. And if it is HCM, it is going to be HCM data loader. You should also understand about what is enterprise scheduled service, that is called ESS. And also there is something like UCM, which is nothing but file import and export. So you need to have the knowledge about these things and plus the integrations. Why the integration is so important in the Fusion applications? Because in the Fusion applications, everything is running on the cloud. It's a SaaS service. That means you don't have the direct access to your the backend. The database, you don't have the direct access in the Fusion applications. Now, if you want to do any inbound and outbound integration with the Fusion applications, then you have to work with the web services. The Fusion applications exposes n number of web services. For any functionality you want to, like either you want to get some data from Fusion applications in a programmatic manner, I mean to say, or you want to push some data into Fusion applications in a programmatic manner, then you have to work with the web services. So now if you want to work with the web services, that is nothing but you are indirectly developing some integrations. Now for developing those integrations, where do I develop the integrations? You need to have some platform for that one. Is it mandated to have the platforms? May not be. Sometimes you can even use simple Java, PLSQL, like the coding also using which you can develop the integrations. It means you can call the web services which are exposed to the Fusion applications. But usually what happens when you're using those technologies, since those technologies are not primarily meant for the integrations or not meant for dealing with the web services, it becomes too difficult for a period of time. That is the reason there are some integration solutions available in the market. Like one of them is Oracle Integration Cloud. Earlier, we used to have something called Oracle SOA. This is the old one. Little bit old, I mean, not that old. Yeah, still, of course, Oracle SOA is also very, very relevant in the industry. And it is very, very popular in the on-premises cases. We are also having Oracle SOA Cloud service, which is also cloud solution. But Oracle Integration Cloud is specifically developed for the cloud service, which is available only in the market for the last 2 to 3 years. Okay. So what Oracle usually recommends, or the industry generally like what people are doing, if you are working the Fusion applications, and if you want to develop any integrations, you want to extend your Fusion applications data outside the Fusion applications, so that you can develop some custom VBCs applications also. In that case, you are going to use Oracle Integration Cloud for developing the integrations. So that's why it is becoming so much important in the industry. Having said that, Oracle Integration Cloud is not only meant for Fusion applications. All these technologies, what we are mentioning here, are generic technologies. It means even in my enterprise, I am not working the Fusion applications. I have some integrations. Maybe I'm using, for example, Salesforce. I may be using SAP for different things. I would like to have integration between Salesforce and SAP. I can use Oracle Integration Cloud for that one. I'm not using any Fusion application. Still, you may want to do that one. Yes. So this is like Oracle SOA, Integration Cloud are very generic technologies by which you can develop integrations. The integrations can be between your cloud to cloud, like cloud to cloud, sorry, or cloud to on-premises. On-premises means like within your enterprise's local network. Or it could be Oracle Cloud to some other cloud. And on-premises to on-premise also possible, but it is very unlikely that you'll be using Oracle Integration Cloud when the integration is between on-premises to on-premises. Usually, at least one of them is on the cloud. Probably there it will make more sense to use Integration Cloud. Technically, you can do that one, but that becomes too much dependence because you always need to work with some agents, etc. in the on-premises case. If everything is on the cloud, that is the ideal situation. The integrations are going to be pretty transparent in that case. Earlier it was difficult. If everything is in the cloud, then there are no good solutions for integrations. Now, Integration Cloud is telling everything is on the cloud, then your integration becomes easier. The cloud may be different cloud. Something may be AWS, something may be Salesforce, something may be SAP, something Oracle Cloud. No problem. Using OIC, I can develop the integrations. How? These applications will be exposing some web services, like Fusion application exposing web services. And the OIC also may be having adapters to communicate with those applications. Using those application adapters, then I can develop the integrations. So that's why the integration becomes easier in the Oracle Integration Cloud when things are in the cloud. Okay. Let me take quick questions about what we talked so far. I'm going to talk about what we're going to learn now. So just before that, any quick questions about this one?
So from this, what are the things would be covered, Bhaskar? So we'll be covering only Oracle Integration Cloud or BBC?
I'm going to talk about that one now. Anything else you want to understand, like about web services or this technology in general?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm Prajot, sir. Actually, my question is, we have a lot of web services available to integrate in a cloud. So why company will take a Oracle Integration Cloud? Because it's a paid version, na?
Mm-hmm.
It's a paid license version, na?
What is the alternate for that?
Yeah. My question is, sir, actually I don't have a knowledge about the integration. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, it's basically, think this way. Like you have a database, right?
Yes.
And you're from database background, correct?
Yes, sir.
right? When will you use PLSQL?
If I want to
PLSQL
fetch a
is,
data or yes.
yeah, PLSQL is not mandatory, right? You can use just SQL and develop your applications also. I mean, you can do your activities with SQL also. But when you want to write some complex business logic, etc., then you have to go for PLSQL. The same thing here. I have the web services, but I want to use those web services to develop some business logic. In that case, you need to have some platform for that one. Like PLSQL, here it is integration cloud. Got that point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes. Bhaskar, small question.
Yeah, tell me.
See, like you mentioned on-premises to on-premises, the integration, how this will be working like? I have small...
How means what I mean, you have to be asked a little more specific question.
like you were telling there is a integration between on-premises to on-premises, but
Yeah.
on-premises is not supporting this kind of integrations, right? Like web services and all.
On-premises, no, let's say you have a SAP implementation with enterprise.
Okay.
You also have, for example, EBS. Both are on-premises for your enterprise.
Right.
Now you want to exchange the data between these two applications. Where are you going to write that one? For that, you need some integration solution that can be developed using integration cloud. So in that case, what will happen is you are going to run some agent in your enterprise, and that agent is going to provide a channel between the integration cloud and these applications. Why you need that? Because integration cloud is always on the cloud. So that is the reason you need to still write some agent. I mean, you need to install the agent and run. So that is going to create the channel between your enterprise network and Oracle Integration Cloud. And then you are going to develop the integrations using Oracle Integration Cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
And one more question, Bhaskar. So how exactly it is different from Oracle SOAS? Since Oracle SOA is also available on cloud, so I'm just trying to identify what would be the major difference between them.
Yeah, sure. So the difference between Oracle SOA and OISC, Oracle SOA primarily it's a on-premises technology. So it was meant for on-premises solutions. It means if you have to work with Oracle SOA, you have to work with different tools. You have to work with JDeveloper, then a WebLogic server, and then you are going to extend this for SOA. So you are going to install all the tools, and they are going to manage those tools, maintenance of that one. So everything will be within your responsibility. How to get the license of that one, how to install the server. Then there will be an administrator who is going to take care of that one. Then the development team is going to develop the applications using JDeveloper. Then deploy the application to SOA server. And they will be having different instances like dev instance, UAT, and production. You also need to take care of upgrading these applications, this software from time to time. So you have a lot of responsibility other than just developing the integrations. Like developing integrations is development part. There is actual business what you want. But you also need to worry about infrastructure and many more things if you are using Oracle SOA. That's how any software works in general, right, earlier. But when it comes to integration cloud, since everything is on the Oracle cloud, you are not going to work with any of these tools directly. Indirectly, you may be using, but Oracle is going to take the responsibility of maintaining, providing all the infrastructure for you. You don't need to install even single thing in your laptop or in your host. You are going to get a URL, the OIC URL. You can log into that on the browser, develop the integrations then and there, and activate. Everything will be available for you as an integration. The service will be available for you. So there's a lot of difference in terms of the overhead what you have to bear in case of Oracle SOA versus OIS. Otherwise, in terms of functionality, what you get in the integrations is more or less same. SOA and OIS.
And how exactly it's different from Oracle SOA Cloud? So they got the cloud version of Oracle SOA too.
Yeah, in the cloud service, what happens is your server will be running on the cloud. That's the only difference. You're still going to work with developer. You still need to worry about your server. You're still going to use the administration tools to log into those WebLogic server to maintain that and take care of your performance and deploying the applications. Anything go like all those things are still your responsibility. Only thing, instead of running this one in a local host, in your enterprise host, you are going to run that on the Oracle Cloud host. That's the only difference.
The maintenance would be on client end.
Yeah, most of the maintenance will be still your. There can be like little bit gray areas what Oracle takes care and what you take care, but not only the maintenance. As a developer, you also still dealing with those things. Like you go and deploy. For example, there's a concept called deploying the application. How do you deploy that one? You need a tool for that one. You need to log into Oracle Enterprise Manager of the SOA server. Then you deploy that one like that. Like in terms of administration, also you'll be having the responsibilities.
Okay.
Yes, I would say most of the things you have to still take care. Even though Oracle might be saying I'll maintain the infrastructure for you, but it will not say everything like the service will be taken care by us, performance will be taken care by. No, may not be. You have to still go and work with that. So why they did this one? It's when Oracle was moving to cloud, the immediate solution for them to provide an integration solution in the cloud is to bring Oracle server on the cloud. That's the easy way to do that. That's what they did initially. But then it's not a 100% cloud service that way. That is the reason they developed one more technology called Oracle Integration Cloud by bringing the similar functionality, but much less overhead and less learning curve compared to Oracle Server in OIC. That is the integration cloud.
And how exactly this OIC is different from the data loading, FBDA?
That I'll come to
Okay.
little later. Yeah, because it's not exactly same. There are different things we are trying to compare actually. FBDA is specific to fusion applications. OIC is much different scope you're talking. It's integration cloud platform. But we'll try to connect why we'll be using that one. Yes. We'll talk about the technique, the training framework, like the overview. I'll talk about that a little bit.
Hello, sir. I'm Prajot. Yeah, and my question is, sir, actually, my company will take a SaaS license from the Oracle. So, can I use this Oracle Integration Cloud with the SaaS model?
Usually, there are two different services you have to subscribe. The SaaS and OIC. They'll be different. OIC may not be available as part of SaaS. You need to take their subscription.
Okay, means we have to go with the PaaS platform.
Yes, OIC comes under PaaS. You're right.
Okay, means if my company will go with the SaaS, so I can't use this OIC with this SaaS model.
I mean, you won't be able to get OIC automatically as part of SaaS. If you want to use OIC, you need to have the PaaS subscription also.
Okay.
See, there are three things. Okay, let me little bit talk about that one. This is called infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service. And this is platform as a service. And this is software as a service. So Fusion applications fall under this umbrella. The Fusion applications, this one, right? Because it's a software which you can directly give it to your end users. So anything, a service what you're taking, which you can give it to your employees, your end users, that becomes software as a service. Platform means you're getting some software or some technology as a cloud service, which will be primarily used by your development team, your technical team, like Oracle Integration Cloud, SOA Cloud Service, database like service, or you can talk about any other technology service, which is used by a technical team, that becomes a PaaS. Infrastructure is also technical. It's primarily a host plus some operating system becomes your infrastructure service. That is the difference. So when you are using Fusion applications, what you are doing, this is nothing but SaaS. The Fusion applications will not be used by, who will be using Fusion applications? Your end users. For example, you're taking Fusion Financials, and then your finance team will be using for that their day-to-day business activities. Now, you want to develop some integration between Fusion applications and Salesforce. Who will develop that? Not your end user. Some technical consultant is going to develop that one. How will they develop that? Probably they may be using OIC for developing that solution. If you want to use OIC for that solution, then you need to have a subscription of this PaaS OIC subscription, in which you are going to develop integration by accessing the web service of Fusion applications or the adapts of Fusion applications, and also the web service of the Salesforce. Then you are developing some business logic to interact the data between these two applications. Got it?
Yes, sir. Means if my company will go with the SaaS model, so there is no requirement of technical consultant.
Yes and no. Yes, probably you may not. I mean, how would I say that one? If you are only using, see what happens is your company cannot say everything will be on SaaS, everything will be on Fusion. Your company may be having Fusion. Your company may be also having a Salesforce. It's possible. Your company may be using the SAP also. Your company may be using some custom applications as well to run your complete business. You cannot make everything probably in the Fusion. But then you still would like to build some integrations between these applications, because at the end of the day, these are applications which are running your business. And to run your business, all these applications have to interact. Then only it makes sense. And how do you interact? For that, you are developing some integrations. How to develop the integrations? With the help of web services. How to use those web services? Using integration in cloud or SOA cloud service like that one. Got it?
Yeah, okay, sir.
Bhaskar, small question, Bhaskar. When I purchase PaaS, so by default, OIC, OIC and SOACS and the DB, whatever you mentioned, all this will be by default it will come, or we need to subscribe each is a license phase. How it is like?
See, the Fusion itself will be having these things internally, but you will not be able to use them for your own purpose.
Okay.
You get Fusion itself is a software which is developed using, probably some of these technologies are already used internally, but that is completely behind the scene. You won't be able to get that architecture. You want to use for your own integrations, which are not part of the Fusion applications already. Fusion applications also might be having integrations which are developed already. For example, they may be using some functionality between finance and SCM. See, finance is exposing some service and they would like to call some SCM module of the Fusion applications. They may be using Oracle SOA or OIC for that integrations, but that is not exposed to you.
Okay.
Now you want to develop fresh integrations, then you need to get this separate subscription.
Yeah, it means it's a separate license, right?
Yes, it's a separate license.
Okay, we need to buy separate.
Yeah.
Is it user based or how it is like?
Every service has their own way of that payment terms, etc. Usually it will be based on the resources, how much you are using, etc. Okay. You have to go and specifically understand about the subscription model for each of them.
Okay. Yeah. Got it, Bhaskar. Thank you.
And Bhaskar, just follow up question on the same thing. So when we buy SaaS, if you want to do any customization within that Fusion application, do we need to rely on OAC and other things, or how it is going to work?
Yes, in certain cases you may need to work with the OAC. If you're developing simple personalization, etc., which is possible within Fusion applications, but you want to develop, you want to pull some data from Fusion applications and develop some custom UI. That custom UI to develop, you may be using VBCS. Actually, that is your UI development. I mentioned here that VBCS.
Yes.
Or you may be using Oracle Apex or ADF, something like that one. But how will you get the data from Fusion applications to show that in the UI? For that, you may be using Oracle Integration Cloud for developing some integrations before you actually access them in the VBCS if required.
Okay.
Yes, so usually your customization and extensions may need integration in cloud for developing some additional business logic.
Okay. The screens and everything is depending on VBCS. Process flow
Yes.
is depending on PCS.
Yeah. But behind the scene, you may want to still develop some integrations, the wrappers, so that you'll be able to access the web service of the Fusion applications and develop some custom business logic.
How about ADF? ADF still in place or?
ADF is becoming little less focused now. It is still there, but people, I think, preferring now Apex and VBCS over ADF.
Okay. The existing application is completely built on OIC and VBCS, PCS, right? The existing Fusion application.
No, the Fusion applications are actually built using ADF and SOA.
The
Actually,
current cloud
yeah.
Fusion.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fusion actually they developed using ADF plus SOA and OBIE, which is reporting, and plus OIM. Like this is for end-to-end application development. This is the integrations. This is for reporting, and this is for security. They might be moving slowly some of their functionality. For ADF now, the equivalent of that one is Oracle, VBCS. And then you have OIC. Then you have the OBIE or Oracle Text Cloud is also there now. And then you also have something like Oracle, its own cloud security is available, something like that. So Oracle is also trying to move some of their UI from ADF to VBCS. But this all will be happening without you much knowing. They don't want to change the architecture, which is, they may be changing the architecture internally, but which will be transparent for the end users.
Okay. So, but in case of customization, they are relying on VBCS as of now.
Yeah,
But the
exactly.
existing
Customizations,
architecture is
yeah, you are right, 100% right. Yeah.
Okay.
That happened because the Fusion applications were primarily developed for on-premise initially, and then they made it SaaS services. So that is the reason they were using different technologies, and then now Oracle is probably realizing that slowly let us do the transition to all cloud, etc. As part of that, they might be doing these changes. Okay, all right. Any other questions? I'll come back for the questions. Okay, let me talk about some training, the overview. Then how we are learning this one. I think we indirectly understood what we need to learn, but let me talk about that. Just 1 second, please. So what we do now. So how we are going to learn this one? We're not going to put much focus in the SaaS here, right? SaaS is a different learning altogether. That is implementation of Fusion applications, like ERP implementation, HCM implementation. That will be different track altogether. So what we are doing here is we are focusing completely technical side of that, of your requirements. So here, first thing you're going to learn the integration cloud. For learning integration cloud, you need to have some knowledge about web services. What is XML, XSD, JSON, all that, right? Like what is REST, what is SOAP. So we're going to first learn about those basic fundamentals. Then you are going to learn end-to-end integration concepts. There are a lot of things you have to learn there, like there's something called orchestrations. Then in the orchestrations, like different activities are there. And then how you are going to expose your integrations as a REST or SOAP, how you are going to invoke the existing REST or SOAP, how you are going to write the business logic, like using if statements, for loops, working with the fault management. Many things are there. So that is nothing but when I'm talking end-to-end integration concepts. So we're going to learn the integration cloud as a technology here. Here we are not talking anything about Fusion applications. It's like you're learning database, understanding the database technologies, for example, understanding SQL, learning PLSQL, etc. There's a technology. Then you may be applying that for a specific purpose later for the development. So here you're learning the integration cloud completely. as if like no, you are coming from the integration background. Like no, by end of this is a part one. You know what is integration means, how to develop integrations between any applications like that. You're learning that knowledge. Then you are going to learn Fusion technical concepts. Like here we are going to understand about what is FBDI, file-based data import. If you already know, that's fine. We're not going to spend too much time on this part because the primary focus is on integrations. So we are going to understand about these concepts, UCM, etc. You may be doing in parallel also, this one plus the next one. This is a part one, integrations, part two, Fusion technical. Then the part three is about live integrations. When you are learning the integration cloud itself, you'll be doing some project work here. I have developed a project work which is going to help us to learn this integration cloud technology in a very, very organized manner. You are developing everything on your own over there. Okay. Then the Fusion technical is not at all related to integration cloud. These are the separate topics which you are understanding about Fusion applications on the cloud. As a technical person, what you may have to work with. Then you are learning the live integrations. What you do here, we are going to automate the Fusion technical activities. Like for example, file-based data import, which is a data loading concept in the Fusion applications. You learn that one, which contains like several steps. Like first you're going to understand about where is the template available on the cloud. You download the template, prepare your data, then you generate your the files which are related to FBDI. After that, you are going to upload those files to UCM. Then you are going to run the data loading job, wait for that process completion, then download the log file. So that different steps are there. So that and all you are learning in this part, the manual steps, right? There's a BI report, how to create the BI report using your BI concepts, etc. So you are doing that one. In the live integrations, we are going to automate that. Whatever the FBDI you are able to do manually, you are going to automate that. It means you develop integration, then you are going to click one button, which is going to do all the activities what you are supposed to do. Maybe the data file is available on FTP or file. It's going to download that and then export it to like the Fusion application UCM. Then schedule the job, trigger the job using integration, wait for the job completion. That is done by your integration. Or you maybe want to you have a report. You want to run the report using integration, extract the data, then push it to some other third-party system, like your on-premise database, etc. Those things will be covered, which you are doing live integrations here. So the live integrations is very, very important to understand whatever you learned here and how practically you can use that for Fusion application specific use cases. That's what you're learning here. Then the part three is you're learning the related technologies like VBCS. Learning means this is not in-depth learning. You're going to get up to certain extent, some overview plus one or two examples and high level understanding of the technology like PCS. And also, so I may also talk about a little bit Apex. Earlier I used to talk about ADF, but not people are not interested in ADF. Instead of that, I'll be talking about Apex. The primary focus in the whole training would be around the integration cloud, means understanding the integrations. Why we are learning other things? Because they are dependent things. Now you're learning integration cloud here. I can just leave here also. If somebody coming from Oracle SOA background, who are not going to work with the Fusion technical or Fusion, they need not probably talk anything about this one. This itself, you are going to become an expert of integration cloud. This you need because as a Fusion technical consultant, you may also need to work with these activities. Okay, you know this one, you know this one. So how can you put together to develop the live integration? That's what you are doing here. Okay, that is fine. Now I also want to extend my Fusion applications. I want to develop some custom UI. I want to develop understand about some approval process. Okay, I know integration cloud. My company is talking about Oracle SOA. I should know some difference between SOA and Oracle integration cloud. I should be able to take a decision on like, which one is better, what should I use in my given situations, right? Can I use Oracle Apex for my customization? I mean, developing UI. So those things and all you're going into the part 4. So that's how your course is organized. And just before you ask the question, just give me one moment. I need to show one thing. I want to just open my one file. Hold on. I'll share the screen again. Yeah. In the part 1 of our training, like when you're learning this one, we'll be working with this project. Like you're going to develop one small, first thing is I'm going to share certain resources. The resources include, let me open one more. This whole folder I will be sharing to you guys. You'll be getting the recordings anyway of each session. In addition to that, when you're going to get these attendance resources, which contains like a small activity guide, which has certain activities you can follow there. But then you also have list of files here. Like these are the files which contain some XML, WSDL, JSON files, everything what you'll be needing for the practices. While I am doing my demo, during the session also, I'll be using these files only. The same files you'll be having access for. Like for example, if I go to XSD, like you will be needing different kind of XSD files. You have all those files here. And I will be needing some JSON files. Those JSON files are available like that. WSDL, etc. will be available here. Then I was talking about this project. So we have developed, I developed some small use case, end-to-end project kind of thing for learning the part 1. Like we're developing one, like a credit card validation here, which the credit card is input. Then you're going to like return valid, invalid based on some conditions. And then I'm going to work with something called this one, order processing. This is the main project what you want to develop. Like here, I'm developing an integration which will be exposed as a service automatically. And so here, your PO is becoming your order input for your service. And then based on like the certain conditions, I want to take some decisions. I want to process the order. Then I want to invoke the existing credit card service here to validate. Then I want to write the process order to FTP or file system, etc. So don't think this is a purchase order of the Fusion applications. Outside that, you are developing an integration service, which is having this, like the business logic of processing the order based on some logic. You are going to develop this whole business logic using integration cloud. Why we are doing this one? This is going to give us an opportunity to learn different concepts of integration cloud. So for that, it's like a project work we are doing. So this is the first part you're developing. Then slowly you're like adding more functionality to this one. So after that, what you will do, your purchase order is available on the FTP. So you are going to read that one using a FTP adapter. Then you are going to invoke the existing processing order what you already created. That is the next integration. Then you are going to add more functionality where you are having FTP like file, but that is having multiple orders in one file. Then you want to process each of those orders. For that, you need to go to like use some for loop and then process each order, etc. So this is like the next enhancement of your project what you did. And then you are going to work with a zip of like those records which are available on FTP. You want to read all those zip file, extract it, and process each file. In each file, you're having multiple records, and then like that. You're adding more and more complexity to that one. And here you are saying, I may be having a n number of files. I want to read all of them, process one by one, like that. No? So we'll be talking this in detail when you go to the course. So the point I'm making here is, in the part one is actually, if you understand properly, then you will be able to, everything will be driven by how much you understand the part one. So to make that whole thing very clear and having like some business use case to solve, I have developed that project work, which you're going to do in the part one. Then the part two is the Fusion Technical. In the part three, we are going to have the live integrations. So there you are going to work with several other use cases of your integrations with the Fusion applications. Then coming to the instances, we are going to get OIC instance, Fusion SaaS instance, and also FTP server for on the cloud, FTP server cloud for 3 months access you are going to get as part of the training. Then you will get access to the recordings for 1 year in addition to the live sessions. You'll also get access to your other resources like which are required for your practices. The one I was showing just now, this file completely, the folder, whichever I shown, right? Yeah, that one you will be getting, this one, this folder. Then if you want to really understand the integration cloud, so here, this is what you will see when you come to integration cloud here. So we are having the integrations here. Then you have the connections. You also have the lookups, then packages, agents, adapters. So you are going to learn all these parts of integration cloud, in depth of everything. Usually what you do when you develop the integrations, you are going to first work with the connections. So you'll be developing some connections like SOAP connections, REST connections, etc., with the help of adapters or with the help of existing like your web services. Then you are going to build the integrations. For example, here it is showing some integrations which we developed recently here.
So Bhaskar, will we getting a separate user ID for this URL, or will it be a common user ID for all of us?
It could be common user ID or separate user ID, doesn't matter much because you'll be getting the full access for that one.
Because if I'm developing something, so that will be accessible for others also, so they
Yes.
can do a changes and everything.
Yeah, but they will, that is the reason usually what will be following certain coding standards so that they will not simply disturb yours. For example, here, everything what I am developing here, I am prefixing using a specific like for example, BK or BD, something like that. Somebody like working RA, all his integrations are like starting with RA like that one. The same thing with the connections also. I'm creating my own connections here, starting with BD like that. Other person using RA, SA like that, so that there will be clear indication who is doing what. You also have the packages actually, so that everything what I developed, I want to take a backup. I can simply go, see, I have developed 18 integrations here. I can simply export this one. I can take a backup of that one. So even if I move to some other integration tomorrow, I can simply input that one. So that is not a problem. The same integration instance also. Okay.
But we'll be getting a different username password, right, for each one?
Different username password is also not required. The same username also you can use it. Only thing is we'll be having the limitation of 5 users when it comes to agent. So in that case, if there are, for example, more than 5 participants are there, I'll be creating a separate instance for like additional 5 users so that they'll be using their own agent. The agents will be only maximum you can use 5 per instance. So that I'll take care.
And Bhaskar, what about these FTP and UCM? For example, I am building any integration and putting a file in FTP. So if I just wanted to check whether that file got placed there or not, so do we get the FTP connection as well?
Yeah. So we are getting the FTP server connection separately, like what I mentioned here. That is FTP server. then you are getting the Fusion SaaS anyway. The Fusion SaaS is nothing but this one. Like, just one second, let me hide this. Let me close this one. So this is the Fusion applications you are getting. So for example, I'm creating an integration for, I can show that actually, creating suppliers in the Fusion applications using my integration. Now I want to see whether that supplier created or not. I can log into my Fusion applications and go to suppliers, and I will be able to check there. I can go to UCM. If you want to go to file import export, you'll be able to go to Fusion. So everything is all in the Fusion applications UI, anything related to Fusion applications. But when you're doing the part one of our learning, you're not working with the Fusion applications there. You are doing everything on your own. You are creating your own service. You are going to reuse that service like that one. And you're also going to need FTP server where your custom application is like to creating some data which you want to consume for your Fusion applications. So then you need that FTP server. For that, this access is required. Okay, actually, let me show one small demo. You'll get actually better idea what I'm talking about. Fine. Then, or let me take questions after that one. Actually, it'll be interesting for you guys. So first, what I will do, I'm starting my agent here. This is required only if you want to access your on-premises data. So here I have a database in which I have a supplier table. Assume that this is your e-business tool, for example. The supplier table is having some suppliers. So this is a third-party application where the suppliers are getting created. Now these suppliers, you want to develop one integration for the integration cloud, which is going to take care of reading the suppliers from your on-premise database or on-premise like an application and create the suppliers in the Fusion applications. And this can be also scheduled. Let's say every 1 hour is going to run, or once in a day is going to run and read all the suppliers which are not processed already, and then process them for creating the Fusion applications. Okay. To develop that, this is actually example of that one, the one I was just trying to show here. So here, if you come, we develop that integration here. So you can try to understand, but it's a little difficult here unless you learn this systematically. Look, you're saying, I want to read the supplier data from my database first. Then I'm going to get a list of suppliers. Here I'll be putting some conditions, like where in the table here, I'm using some status field to identify whether that record is ready for processing or not. Like NR means not ready. I will change this to, for example, ready for process. This is also ready for process. And this is also ready for process. So now I have 3 records which I can process them. So I'll be having that condition here, only read which are ready for processing. Then use a for loop to loop through that records. And then call your Fusion applications web service, which is going to be create supplier connection, or you can use the adapter, ERP adapter also. And this is going to take the input and call that Fusion supplier. You are going to have the mapping here, like what I'm getting on the left side from the database. And then I want to map that into the, one second, it's taking time to open. This is what the beauty of the integration cloud. In Oracle SOA, you need to work with developer and many things. But when it comes to OSC, I do everything in the browser only. Nothing else is required. So now this is the Fusion supplier, which is expecting like lots of fields here. And I am reading the data from my database. So I'm then sending that as an input to my Fusion application web service. That is a part of my mapping. So here, I would already create those connections. That also we are going to learn separately how to create those connections, etc., which is also another learning thing, which is a part of the training. Then what I'm saying, after everything is done here, then it also might happen that like there are some faults because the create supplier is failing. Then we are also doing that when the fault management using another branch here. Then after the Fusion supplier got created, I want to update my record in the database back to my local database, saying like you're successfully like to created, or is there any error? You can see like to 3 records processed earlier, which like where one is successful, one is error, like one is successful, like that one. I'm trying to show something similar here now. For example, here what I would say, my second record is not correct because this is not a recognized supplier type in the Fusion applications. Supplier name, supplier number, tax organization type, supplier type, business related, like that. There are some properties I am sending as input to my Fusion. Now this may be failing because this is not a valid, but these two should be created in the Fusion applications, the supplier 1, supplier 3. So now this integration, in order to just showcase how to do that one, what I will be doing, I will be simply submitting one request. You can also schedule this to run in certain interval, but instead of that one, I can also activate this integration, activate it so that it is becoming live, and then just one request I will do it. Let me see if this data is, let me see if my agent is running. Yeah, this error is okay, I think. Fine. And you have the 3 records. Out of that, 1 record is supposed to fail probably. Yeah, let's see if that is going to work as expected. So I will submit one request for this integration now. So this integration has to read the data from my local database and create the suppliers in the Fusion applications, which is running on the cloud. So this is coming from PaaS and this is coming from SaaS. All are available. I mean, I will be able to access the browser, the user interface in the browser. So it might take some couple of seconds. We'll wait for that. And then I can go and check. I can in fact check the status of this record itself. Once it is completed, it has to update the records. So maybe, let me see if this is done already. If I go to data, you can see that this is successfully done. This is error and this is yes. Now, if I go to Fusion applications, if I want to cross verify that, I go to my procurement suppliers here. And then you can see supplier 1, which is supplier number 100. You can see that 100. And supplier 2 is not there. Supplier 3, which is supplier number 300. You can see that this is got rejected because it is not a proper one. And it is also having indication here saying that this record got errored out. So we are going to learn a lot many things around this fault management when you go to the the training, saying like, no, what is the fault management? How do we handle multiple kind of errors? And how do you read through the activity? What is the global fault management? What is throw, read through, like that? I'm just giving an example. Like this is like one live integrated Fusion applications. You may be developing the FBDA also. FBDA also I could have shown, but I need to have all the setup done for that one. It will take time now. I have to prepare and make sure like the file is already available on FTP or file system. Then it, but I can show the integration which is already there. Let me see if it's available here. Yeah, for example, this one. Let me deactivate this so that I can edit that. So here it's a little more complex one because we are going to work with certain ERP adapter, and then you are going to wait for the job to complete. You can see there are so many steps available here. We are reading the data from FBDA, then importing the bulk data into Fusion using ERP adapter. Then you are waiting for like the job completion, your job status, and after that you are going to download the log files from Fusion applications. Then you are writing the log files to FBDA, etc. So this is another like that. We are going to develop these integrations. Before that, we are going to get a lot of like your strong fundamentally like you should be learning for integration cloud, and then you come to these integrations. Okay. So let me go back to my notes here. So coming back here, so I think we have kind of done this. Let me also talk about the certification, right? A little bit about that. Then I'll take the questions again. Certification, if you come to Oracle Integration Cloud, it is 1Z0, that is 1042, 10, sorry, -20 is the latest certification. So most of the topics from that certification would be covered in this training, but not like 100%. There is one part, the API cloud platform, API platform, which is also there. Like that one, you may have to learn like a little bit outside this training. There might be some topics from PCS and some topics from SOVA. We're not sure like how much we're going to cover in the training, etc. So you may have to like read those topics. At least theoretically, you should be able to read that. And then you should be having additional preparation for 2 to 3 weeks for the certification, and then you should be able to evaluate the certification. So many participants like during the training itself, they will be generally sometimes like they're completing. After training, they go and prepare and clear the certifications like that. Okay.
So Bhaskar, this certification is for which level? I mean, developer or architect?
Integration cloud, I think there is only one certification, and that's what you are learning about. That's what you are going to it.
Okay.
In the cloud, cloud like OCI, then there are different like levels are there, like associate or architect or like that. But integration cloud, it's only one. That's sufficient.
Okay. And what is the cost for this certification? Do you have idea?
I think that is around 10,500, something like that.
Okay.
Certification. Okay. So just before, if anybody would like to just drop, you can drop now. I have actually covered whatever I wanted to do in this demo session. If you have any questions, you can stay back. I'll be available for the additional questions now.
Actually, yeah, sure. Continue, please.
Yeah, see, I need an instance. You mentioned instance will be available only for 3 months. If we need some more time, like another 6 months.
Yeah, that we can discuss offline. Okay, how to do that one, etc. Yeah. One thing is you can also get the trial instance and use it for 1.5 months after the training is over. On top of that, if you still need it, we can discuss that, how to get that, make it available. Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Missed out.
Will you cover performance related things as well as part of this program?
What did you ask? Sorry, performance related, right?
Yeah, performance issues related, how to debug, and or will that be covered by Oracle only? The checking log, performance issues.
No, we are going to the monitoring also, like where to get the logging, how to set the check the debugging statements. If you want to add your own statements, how to do that one. If anything goes wrong, where to find the information. And if the files are large, what kind of solution generally you are going to use it. So those things you are going to get.
And in general, if there is any performance issues, if large file it is not loading, not taking a lot of time.
Yeah.
And do we need to go to Oracle for that, or that would be on our part to find a solution for that?
It depends on a specific really use case, which case you're talking about. So one thing is we're having a stage file concept in integration cloud, which is going to help us to process the chunks, chunk by chunk, etc. And then there is always a limitation of how much these integration technologies can actually cover or process, etc. So you have to work within those limitations. And beyond that, if you want, then you have to go with some workaround, etc. So because Oracle Integration Cloud is not really meant for like ETL kind of solutions, because ETL solutions are meant for dealing with your extraction, etc. This is much more useful for the your live integrations, and also, of course, it's not meant for those, but you have to understand the limitations and work around that one. That's important.
And earlier they used to have another product called Oracle Data Integrator. So still they continue with that, or it's
Data Integrator it is still there. Data Integrator and OSC and SOA are similar. ODI is still there, but that is still there.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Hello. So to attend this course, I need some prerequisite knowledge about web services and all this XML, everything, sir.
No, We are going to learn that
or you
in the training.
will cover
I'll,
from scratch?
I'll be starting from the scratch. You need not know anything about those
Okay.
things.
Yeah, sir. Actually, I don't have anything about these technologies.
No, perfectly fine. That's what my expectation also. You need not know. If you know, it's fine. But if you don't know, we're going to learn anyway. We're going to work like no, start with those things.
Bhaskar, one question.
Okay.
For example, currently I'm working on my organization in one of the OIC project, and I'll be dealing with some live example as well. So, do I get any job assistance from you if I'll stuck somewhere in integrations?
Yeah, you can always reach out to me as much as possible after like to training. You can reach out to me mostly through email communication. Whatever is possible, I'll be able to help. Yes, I mean we'll keep in touch on those things in general. Yeah.
Thank you.
How much and all we'll see. I mean, I can't commit like no what and all, but general things, yes, you can get some help. Yeah.
Yeah, just suggestion. For example, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Is there any placement assistance, Bhaskar?
Not much. You will get some idea about if you are really preparing from interviews, etc. You can actually ask me like, no, I went for the interview, and like, no, these are the questions we discussed. If you have any doubts, we can discuss that one. Many people do that. In fact, many people will be able to get through the interview after this training. That is my confidence, because nobody can ask like beyond this in general. I'm not saying like nobody can, but most of the cases they're going to ask like within this scope. There's always, of course, beyond like what somebody can ask, but it's possible. So you'll be able to get to the interview. That is something like we are preparing for here. Placement and all, if there's any companies coming to us, then we'll be able to forward there, but that is not the much focus. If anything possible, we'll do it. Yes. Okay. But you will get the calls. You will get the calls if you put your integration in cloud as a technology. If you're coming from EBS background or something like that, and combination of that one, you will get the calls. No doubt about that. The requirement is in the market. Yes. Sorry, somebody asking something more.
Hello.
Yeah.
Bhaskar, so actually we missed out in the initial about your job profile currently, like in which organization you're working and how much experience you have.
I'm sure. My name is Bhaskar. So I have been in the IT field almost close to 20 years. I worked in several technologies, starting from Java, C++, and then web technologies, Java J2E. Then I worked for Oracle Fusion Middleware for many years, almost like last 10 plus years. I am in these integrations and ADF, Oracle SOA, Oracle Apex development, and in the context of Fusion applications, etc., integrations, live integrations. So that's what I do. So I am I do a lot of things into development and integrations. That's what my background is. And I also been providing these trainings for several years. So I usually know what is expected, know the people coming from your background. And so it is organized in that manner. Okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, Bhaskar. So you told people from EBS and having a EBS background and giving the interview with OIC will get a better opportunity. If a fresher learning OIC will not get that much opportunity. Means it is an additional
there are
thing, EBS and
there are two different areas here when you are positioning also yourself. If you're coming from EBS background or a Oracle Apps background, you have to basically say EBS plus Fusion Technical plus OIC consultant. If I'm coming from, for example, a Java background with 2 years experience or SOA background, I would be saying OIC consultant. There, my focus is completely around integrations, because I don't have any knowledge of the Fusion applications, what is EBS, what is ERP, etc. So here your scope is reduced actually, but you are a generic consultant of integrations. The solutions, in order to get a solution, your just integration knowledge is not sufficient. You also need to understand in general how these business applications work, what kind of requirements will be there, and how you did in e-business suite, what is different in the fusion applications now. So with that knowledge and understanding of the FBDI concepts, etc., reporting concepts, then you're leveraging that whole thing and then developing the integrations. So you are basically a fusion technical consultant with integration cloud, also your additional expertise. That's how you have to position. So these are requirements are only the like in the fusion side. You don't, I mean, if you're coming from EBS background, I would not suggest you to position yourself as an integration just specialist where you want to go and work as a generic integration consultant. May not be very, very good way of positioning. You understand? You have to leverage your additional knowledge also. The combination will become strong. And that's where you will be having advantage over other consultants who are like only OIC consultants. But these people may be getting opportunities outside fusion also, right? They need not stick to only fusion kind of integrations. You may be sticking to fusion integrations and DBS because that is your expertise. Already you're having some experience, you want to leverage that one. Over a period of time, you can become more generic and that's fine. The trading we are learning as a generic consultant plus fusion application integrations, you are getting that kind of picture. But how you are going to position is very important so that they are going to also create the scope of questions accordingly. Right. All right.
Hello.
Hi, Bhaskar.
Yeah. Hi. Tell me.
Yeah, I'm asking like when is the next batch starting? Like what is the
Oh,
training
yeah.
time?
That's a good question. So we are starting actually from coming this Monday only.
Okay.
So Monday, that is 11th Jan. Session would be 8:30 a.m. IST. It is going to be 1 hour session daily. It may go a little bit beyond 1 hour. And we are going to have the sessions on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So there are no sessions on Wednesday and Sunday, no sessions.
Okay.
And one thing you have to be committed for spending time outside the class also, because in the class we are doing, I'm explaining the concept, I'm demonstrating everything. I expect you to work on the same practice plus some additional assignments after the session, before the next session usually. And I'll be giving time for your doubts, etc. in the session. So that and all we can always do. But you have to work on the practices. That's very, very important. If you don't spend time on the practices, then learning becomes very difficult in this specific technology. In general,
So
anything
in
for that matter. Yeah.
yeah. So in a batch, like how many students will be there? Like in one batch?
It could be 5 to 10, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the overall amount for this course?
That you can talk to Sahana. Sahana number
Okay.
you might be having already. And if you want to reach out to me after the, you can talk to me on this. And if for technical questions and for any other questions, you can reach out to Sahana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Hi.
Yeah, hi, sir. Actually, I'm from Oracle Labs technical consultant, so it will be good for me, no, sir.
Yeah, this training is specifically meant for coming from EBS and Oracle applications background. We are running around like that background. But it's again, it's a more generic course also. If somebody coming from only Oracle, so without Oracle applications also, which is this is very, very useful. But otherwise, the scope is like around that one. I think I didn't show the course curriculum. If you want to really see the course curriculum we are having on IQStream website, where is that one? You can also take a look on that if you don't have that access already. you would have got already from Sahana. So this is page, it's up to date, most of the details on that. And as I mentioned also here, you can see the part 1, the integrations, part 2, Fusion Technical, part 3, integrations, part 4, like, no, that one, like instead of PDF, now I'm putting Apex. I'll change that probably a little bit. Okay. All right.
Sir, any weekend batches?
As of now, I didn't plan for that one. We can think about that maybe later on. Right now, one we are starting is from this week test batch, which is like, now should be pretty okay in the mornings usually.
Actually, sir, my office timing is 8:30. That's why I'm asking you.
Oh, is it? Okay. I can make this one a little bit earlier, like 8:15, etc., 8 o'clock also, if everybody wants. But yeah, I have to stick to like 8 or 8:30, something like that. We'll think about that. We can discuss that offline
Okay.
for your
Okay, sir.
timings. Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right. I'm stopping the recording here.
Bhaskar, last question.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much for attending the session. I hope it is useful. I mean, whether you're going for the training or not, I'm sure like some useful information here. If you have any specific questions, again, you can reach out to me. This is my number I kept here. You can also reach out to Sahana. Then I'll see you on Monday, hopefully. All right. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Sure, Bhaskar. Thank you. Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
Bhaskar.
Thanks.
No problem.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.